So we come to hear you spit today.
Oh my God, really?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Amsterdam Talk, Season 4, Episode 8. And tonight I have the privilege to sit with Grammy-nominated poet, the Queen Sheba.
Hello.
How are you
What's up? Thank
doing?
you for having me.
Oh man, listen, when I got the email from Lady V, I was like, of course. Let's just break it down. Founder of Poetry versus Hip Hop LLC, adjunct professor at Clark, Atlanta, creative writing in English to be exact. Grammy voting member, Atlanta chapter. Grammy you mentor 4 times. African American delegate, Israel Office of Foreign Ministry, Social Impact, Educated Tour of Israel, National Poet Slam Champion, Southern Fried Regional Poetry Slam Champion, Women of the World Finalist, Individual World Poetry Slam Finalist, NAACP. I always have a problem when I get to that because I'm a big sports fan. NAACP Image Award nominee 2 times, Furious Flower Poetry Grant recipient, Patreon artist grant recipient. What is this? Lululemon Legacy Ambassador?
Lululemon.
Lululemon. Lululemon.
You was trying to make
Legacy.
it fancy. Lululemon.
Lululemon Legacy Ambassador. Before we got on here, we was just talking about German Shepherd Dog Mom
That's
and
right.
Bike Run Swim. Welcome to Amsterdam Talk for the HBCU Network.
Woo, 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 woo. Thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate it. Why is it called Amsterdam Talk?
Because anything goes in Amsterdam.
Oh, got it.
And on our show, we talk about anything. I mean, I don't know if Lady V ran our credentials down. We in 77. This is number 80 episode. We then ran from dating with AIDS, dating with herpes, domestic violence. Like I said, the thing of this show is to talk to our people what goes on in our culture.
Okay.
The community, that the things that we don't want to talk about, that
What we
people
talking
need to
about
hear.
today? What we talking about today?
Talking about you, we celebrating you.
Oh, okay. I thought we was going with the hard questions.
No, it ain't no hard questions because, like I said, we got everything about you sitting on my screen right now. From Lyric Cafe on BT, 106 in Park, the Apollo feature films. We got it all. So we celebrating you, Miss Grammy nominated. You're
Oh, I can
nominated.
hear the Baltimore in you. You too. I love
Oh
it.
man. So it's just great to have you here. So before we start, I mean, I done ran all your credentials down. So what haven't I said already? So you tell us about yourself before we get started.
Um, man, I think you got it all. I mean, I just try really hard. My mom used to say you just throw spaghetti on the wall until something sticks, and that's kind of what I do with my life. So that's
Okay.
about me.
So
That's a yeah, that's about what I mean, of course, we got the Grammy situation happening right now,
mm-hmm.
and that's really exciting. And I'm excited to be nominated for best album in the spoken word poetry category for my album A You're Not Wrong, being that they're not either. And it's an honor. I mean, we've been talking about it as spoken word artists, as poets for years, for more than a decade. And then finally, the Recording Academy came around, was like, you know what? We're going to give y'all a category, your own category. Y'all keep crying about it. And what can y'all do? And they gave us some parameters, and the parameters were really easy. We got to have 100 poets submit every
Mm-hmm.
year to keep our own category. And every poet has to have 30 minutes of either recorded or live music on a professionally produced album and their own website. How easy is
Okay.
that?
So I got a question. When you got
Yes.
that call to say you were nominated, how did you feel?
So it wasn't a call. So let me tell you what happened. What had happened was, so what happens is when you submit your album, everybody's listed. Like it could be 1,000 people in the poetry category, in the poetry spoken word category. If you
Okay.
submit an album, you're going to be listed in the first round of voting. So that's from you have to submit your album by like August 31st of every year. And so the first round of voting is from like September 15th to like October 15th or October 10th. Sometimes it's 3 to 4 weeks, right? They give people time to campaign. It's like, hey, my album's out here. Listen to my album. If you happen to be a Grammy or professional member, please consider listening to my album and casting a vote in the spoken word category, right? We're not allowed to solicit votes. We're not allowed to hunt people down on social media like, oh, you're a Grammy voting member, like look for hashtags. We're not allowed to do any of that. We rely on our organic relationships and the friends that we've made, and hopefully they tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, just organically, like everything else. Like, Rod would be like, hey, listen to Queen Sheba's album, da 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 da, and then there people vote. That's the first round of voting. The first round of voting, when the top 5 people have the most votes, they become Grammy nominated in every category you can think of. And I think there's over like 130 categories, everything from children's books to liner notes to album graphics to spoken word to the normal stuff that we see on the nighttime TV, right? It's hip hop and R&B and R&B soul and all the stuff that we're used to seeing, right? So we're in the same ballot as Beyonce, Jay-Z, Cardi B, Ice Spice, Lupe Fiasco, whoever. I'm just naming names, but whoever else is on the ballot, we also, rely on people to vote for us. And if you become the top 5 in any of those categories, you are now Grammy nominated forever. That title is never taken away from you. Never, ever, ever. So you are officially Grammy nominated. The Recording Academy sends you an email, says, congratulations, you are now Grammy nominated. Your peers thought you were dope. So now you have the choice of coming out to LA and participating in all of the festivities and going to the ceremony. Now, the spoken word ceremony is earlier in the day. It starts at noon. So we do our red carpet from 10:45 to noon. And then we go inside for our part of the ceremony, plus other categories. And then because we're nominees, we automatically get to go across the street and see the nighttime, the stuff everybody gets to see at 8 p.m. that everybody's excited about, like who's gonna win, album of the year and hip hop artist of the year, da, 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 da. And then we get to go to the after party, and we're treated, like every other nominee, VIP. We're treated just amazing. So it's really a super honor to be nominated in any category. So I want to say to all the poets that are watching this or who will watch it in the future that I would love for you to submit your albums. It is absolutely free to submit your albums, and you do not have to be a Recording Academy member, but we do want more poets to become Recording Academy members because we make up our own machine. We need to vote for each other, and that's basically how you get nominated, of course.
Okay. So you say that to be a part of the Recording Academy. So what if a person isn't? Like, do you look at a person differently because they're like, yo, I don't want to join it. I can do this. I'll do it outside the Recording Academy.
No. So think of it like a record label. So say, Rod, you own Amsterdam record label, right? And I'm one of your artists. I may not necessarily, maybe so to be a part of the Recording Academy, you have to be 5 years in your genre. So just because you're a dope, amazing artist, let's take, and I'm just making this up. I do not know this for sure. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna say her name. I was gonna use a hip hop artist as an example. But like, when you have the breakout artist or the new artist, we don't know if they're part of the Recording Academy because they're brand new to us, right? But they may have been 5 years in their game. So say a new poet comes on the scene and they're dope, but it's literally their first year out, but they're dope. And Rod, you're like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna help you produce an album down here in Baltimore, up here in Baltimore. And you take them to a studio, you help produce an album, get their graphics done, blah, 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 blah. How did you get out there, Charlie? My German Shepherd is a gangster. Sneaking all over the place. And then but they're not part of the Recording Academy because it's their first year out and they need 5 years. So you're like, you know what? You can submit under Amsterdam record label, basically. And so they don't have to be a part of the Recording Academy to submit their album. Now, what we would be missing from them is their vote. So if, Big Bird submitted under Amsterdam Recording record label, then Big Bird wouldn't be able to vote for other poets in the category. So we have a limited amount of votes. That's why it's important that poets not only submit their albums, but also join the Recording Academy when you can. And the only thing that you need to join the Recording Academy is, and this is in no particular order, I'm just naming them out. It's $150 a year to join your closest chapter. So the closest chapter to you would be DC. And then you need 5 years and a resume. You need 2 recommendations from 2 people who are in the Recording Academy, and you need your own website. So
Okay.
that's it.
All
Super
right.
easy.
So
Yeah.
according to your article, you are a 22-year vet.
I am been a full-time spoken word artist for 22 years. Now, full-time means, so like say you have a job, like you work at Bank of America full-time, but you got a part-time job, you making soaps or candles or whatever on the side, right? You making crochet or hats or, you know, whatever we do. We make jewelry, you know how we do. I have been a full-time spoken word artist since
Mm-hmm.
July 10th of 2001. That does not mean I haven't had other jobs or part-time jobs, because you also read in my resume that I'm an adjunct professor at Clark Atlanta University and soon coming Southern New Hampshire
Right.
University. So I like being a professor. And as long as I can maintain both, then I will. But as soon as I win this Grammy, let's claim it. Come on, Lord. Then when I become
You
too
got it.
busy, then I won't be able to, you know what I mean? So God willing, God willing. And whatever the outcome is, I'm honored to even be considered.
I
So
mean,
yeah, I've been
you're
doing
going
this
to win
22 years.
You're going to win the Grammy. You're going to win it, but still give back to them students with creative writing. Let them express
You know,
themselves.
and right, like that would be amazing, right?
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
Ti taught a semester at Clark as a special guest instructor. I think he taught like hip hop business 101 or something like that. So I want to know, did they give him the same shitty adjunct pay they give us?
might not be. I mean, but if I was going to Professor Harris' class, I would definitely bring a dictionary with me.
And a tape recorder, because you're gonna have to run it back a few times.
Yeah, definitely. You're definitely going to run it back. So you said you started in 2001. What made you start to want to do this? Start spoken word.
So I was hosting a poetry night in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm from Detroit, but I was living in Norfolk, Virginia. I was going to Old Dominion University at the time. I met 2 other college students who were going to Norfolk State at the time, and they were doing a open mic every other Friday called Urban Safari. And I just started going there, reading poems I had written down while I was bored at work, or I was angry at my boyfriend, or angry at my girlfriend, or whatever was going on my job, and blah blah blah. And so it was really welcoming and opening. And then one day Lamar Hill showed up at Urban Safari, and we were like, oh my God, who are you? You're amazing. We've never heard this kind of this cadence and this language and this fervor. And we were like, woo. And so he taught us about there was like a core of 5 of us, and then he taught us about poetry slam. We didn't know anything about that. And that was 2001. And he was like, yo, you're pretty good. You can go on the road. And I was like, go on the road? More people in the world do this? He was like, y'all late. Y'all late with this open mic in 2000. We've been doing this since the 80s. So, so I was like, cool. So he introduced me to what, happened around open mic to open mic was. And then I met Talam AC, and then it kind of went from there. So that's how I got into doing spoken word on the road as we know it now. So then about a month later, I started to come into work late. I was working a 2 to 10 shift. So I would go to literally drive to New York, drive to Delaware, drive to Philly, drive to Baltimore. I was going to Charles Street doing
I know exactly where that's at.
going to Charles Street, doing Gallery 409. I met Fertile Ground. I met Olu.
Right.
I met the dry fish. I met Femi, the dry fish. I met all of them, and also the DC people. I started to go down south towards North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. And then I was just coming in late, and they were like, yo, you obviously don't want to be at Bank of America anymore. So why don't you go ahead and chase that little poetry dream you got?
All the hate. That was the hate.
A little poetry dream you got, since you wanted to do poetry at night. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. So that's how I started.
Okay, so you started touring and doing this, because the piece I actually watched yesterday, I actually watched the Def Jam piece.
I was never on Def Jam.
Well, I
So
mean, it was Def Poet something. I can't remember.
All Def Digital.
Yeah,
All
All
Def
Def
Digital.
Digital. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. I knew
That's
something.
That's fine. That's cool. I appreciate All Def Digital putting me on their broadcast, because I never was on Def Poetry. Although people used to introduce me as Queen Sheba from Def Poetry, I'd be like, Okay, whatever, So I appreciate the compliment because basically they were saying, "Hey, you were good enough to be on there. We don't know why you weren't, but they just didn't make the distinction, which was fine with me." So yeah, Shihan, shout out to Shihan. He was in charge of getting All Deaf Digital to come. Really, deaf poetry started because of Shihan out in LA, and that's at the Poetry Lounge. They're still popping every Tuesday night. I think it's 2 shows. They get about small audience would be 150, normal audience about 300 people every Tuesday night. People doing the open mic and featuring. So when I go to LA in about 7 weeks, I'll be featuring at the Poetry Lounge again. And it was actually Shihan who told me that I was nominated before I saw it. So, oh yeah, get back to that. So what had happened was I was actually in Jamaica and I was riding bikes, road bikes, with my cycling crew from Atlanta. We were on a cycling vacation in Jamaica just November 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I knew that the announcements were coming out November 10th, and I was really nervous about it. But we went cycling really early in the morning because it was hot in Jamaica. We were up and out by like 5 a.m. So we were back by like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And so the announcements started to come on at like 10:45. So me and my partner propped up our computer, and I was so nervous. I didn't even take a shower yet from the bike ride. I was just sitting there like, she was like, "Go get in the shower, Carl." I was like, "No, I don't want to miss it." She's like, "It's not even on yet." I was like, "I don't care. I don't want to miss it." So we sat there, and of course, our category wasn't even first. It was still like 30 minutes into the telecast. And so what happened was, I'm all the way in Jamaica. Shihan from the Poetry Lounge is all the way in LA. So I guess it hit him, hit his telecast before it hit our computer, right? And so he texted me and was like, "Congratulations, sis." And I was like, "Oh my God." So I hadn't even seen it yet before he told me. But it actually was a bit of relief because, I'm like, because they were like, "Your category is coming up right after this." And then 60 seconds later, he goes, "Congratulations, sis." And then, of course, you still want to see it, right? You still want the affirmation. And so me and my partner were like, okay, here it comes. And it comes across the screen. And I have a recording of myself just like going nuts, like, so it's been a long time coming. And I want to tell people too, it's not my first time submitting. It's my fourth time submitting. So I submitted twice back in 9 and 10, I believe. It was 9 and 10 or 7 and 10, something like that. I forgot. But 2 other times for my Sheba Tower album, and 10 for sure. And then I think it was 7 or 8 or 9, something like that, for my Domino Effect, the second release of that. And I submitted last year, the Fuck It Pill, and was not nominated. But I re-released it this year and made a new album, and was lucky and honored enough and blessed enough to, get a nomination. So I'm super excited about it.
And, like you said, that was your fourth time submitted. And I'm going to quote you because this is what you stated. "I do nothing without the guidance of God or the higher power, or what the bleep do we know, or the secret, or whatever you believe."
Absolutely. Put that in front of you. Don't wait until you in tragedy and be like, "Okay, Lord, if you could just know, guide me now, God. Guide me now from right now." I'm nervous and excited about the Grammys and everything that happens. And even when I land, it's a week later. I land on Tuesday. It's not even until Sunday when I do get out to LA at the end of January, going into February. And I'm going to be nervous and excited and busy and networking and meeting people and hoping to run into people that, I love and admire in the music industry, and making organic friendships and connections and building community. So I just, want to be calm and walk in the footsteps that God puts out in front of me. And really, that's all I can ask for. Whatever the outcome is, I know that outcome is meant for me. And by chance, I happen not to win this year, I'll try again and again. And, we at it.
Well, it's coming. It's definitely coming. What a try beats a failure.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. Absolutely.
Right. So, you did something. We have people sit around and they think of things to say, "Listen, I want to do this," but they get scared to do it. And, the world we live in, you have to have money to provide. You didn't know where this journey was going to take you when you said you left Bank of America.
Man.
But you
Well,
stepped out of
let's be
faith.
clear, I was fired.
Okay. They asked
when
you to
Bank
leave.
of America decided
They asked you to leave. They said, "Okay, we want you to leave. So
Yeah.
you stepped out on faith, and look where you at now. And I haven't even spoke about your 2 published books, long short story, From Foster Care to Fame, or Run Ugly.
Yeah.
So what made you, what is what where would you draw, where did you draw the energy to write these 2 books, Foster Care to Fame or Run Ugly?
So I'll start with Run Ugly first because that's a lot short. That's a motivational book for runners. For those of you who are new to me, I run all the time. I'm on a little hiatus lately, but if you go to my Instagram page or if you follow me on Strava, which is a running app, um, then I run, cycle, ride every day. I work out about 6 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week. And, everybody takes breaks when you're supposed to, when your body tells you to. But I'm a whole adult athlete. Like I travel the world doing marathons, half marathons, relays, triathlon relays, a couple small triathlons. And I love working out. I really, really do. I love working out because I love eating. So I joined Black Girls Run Atlanta many years ago, 2010, 11, 12, something like that. And I was inspired to write a small motivational book for runners. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Run Ugly. And my last name is Rem, R-E-M as in Michael. And it's just a couple pages that says, hey, you're a runner when, and it's for every level. And in the back of the book, I have a poem, I think, or like a little short story about how I started running. So From Foster Care to Fame is a book of short stories and longer poems that I don't get to necessarily always do on stage. Because even if I'm not in a poetry slam, I try to keep the poems for our adult ADD about 3 minutes long, 3.5 minutes long. So it's a really awesome book. I was adopted by white people in the city of Detroit, not in the suburbs. And that's where I grew up. And I'm also biracial. So it tells my story about, through the poems and the short stories and the pictures, it talks about my journey about, being adopted as a biracial Black woman growing up in Detroit with this all white family. And they're hippies. They weren't even rich. You know what I mean? I'm like, they weren't even rich, ungrateful
Right.
ass. But but they they weren't. It wasn't like, yes, it's the Cinderella
Everybody can
story.
have the different strokes type of
Exactly.
mantra.
It wasn't even that.
Right.
They were complete hippies and struggled for every dollar. We drank powdered milk when I was a child. This shit was disgusting. And, it was just a regular growing up. But at 15 years old, I guess I was enough of a menace where they decided to put me back into a foster home. I mean, into a youth home. I was in a youth home from the time I was 15 to 17, graduated high school, and then have been on my own since. So I have literally made my own path and made up my own way since 15 years old.
Did you ever meet your real parents?
No, I've never met. That's a fresh question. I appreciate that. It doesn't get asked a lot. No, I am coming up on a milestone birthday this August, and I'm thinking about reaching out. I actually have a friend of mine that's working on my what's that called? The tree thing online.
Oh, the ancestry
The
thing?
ancestry, yeah. And there's like a cousin who wants to reach out, and I'm like, yeah, let him reach out before the Grammys. No
Well,
new friends. No new friends
no,
after the
because
Grammys.
because I'm gonna call you after the Grammy and say, "What's up, cousin Sheba? I need a
I'm like,
dollar."
hello, hello, who's this? Who is?
Yeah, I mean that would be so. You never met anybody from that side of
No,
the family.
no, never.
Wow.
I know that my mother is German. Her so my mother, her mother was German and her father was Cherokee directly. So I'm actually doing ancestry.com to trace my Native American roots
Okay.
so that I can find that family, find my tribe literally. You know how we've been talking about finding our tribe forever, right? So
Right.
find my tribe literally and then see what benefits that um, the Native American family has, from the government and see, who I can meet.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
cool.
no, I've never, and my dad was Black. That's all I know.
Okay. And
He
you
was
just know
Black.
he's black in Detroit.
Black in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Kalamazoo, where it get cold.
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
You throw a cup of water up in the winter and it comes down as ice.
As ice. Yeah, Kalamazoo, Michigan. That is the capital of Kellogg's and a very racist white, racist, bougie, rich city. It's just ridiculous. They're racist as hell in Kalamazoo, Michigan,
So
Battle Creek. And
so
so the story is that my mom, who was white, came home with me, and um couldn't tell my dad who couldn't tell couldn't tell her dad who my father was. She lied and said she was gang raped and didn't know who the
wow,
father was. I was like, dang, that was extreme.
wow.
So yeah, I was like, and then so my mom, so the story goes, my white biological mother met another white man.
Hmm.
So she brought me home. So I wasn't adopted like out of the womb. She
Right.
brought me home, and at 8 months, met a man, I guess, with some money. And the
Hmm.
white man said, "Sure, I'll marry you, but we can't have this black child."
Wow.
And so she gave me up for adoption. And but also the story goes that my mother was the youngest of nine, or one of nine. I don't know if she was the youngest, but one of nine, and they lived in complete poverty. So she sold me into slavery, y'all.
Okay. Well, you up north at least. You free. You up north. You up
And
north.
then white people came. This is a whole movie. Who's gonna make my movie? Who's gonna make my Lifetime movie? Then some white people came down, adopted me out of Jackson. They were living in Jackson, Michigan. So y'all know this is, wait, where's the camera? This
Yeah.
is Detroit.
Right.
This is the Mitten, Michigan. This is Detroit. So we were living like, I'm messing up. Okay, so Grand Rapids and Battle Creek is up here,
Hmm.
and then Jackson, Michigan is down here. So they were already moving because my adopted dad was getting a promotion from the Veterans Association, and then they were moving to Detroit. So they were adopting me while moving to Detroit. So that's how I got to the actual Detroit. We didn't live in the suburbs.
Okay.
So I went to Detroit Public Schools, VTOL Elementary School, shout out to y'all, Ludington Middle School, and then Cass Tech High School for my freshman year, and then ended up going back up to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Just don't put it on Tubi.
Now, see, Ava. Ava's one of
Why
our
am I not putting it on Tubi, Ava? What's wrong with Tubi?
Tu- Tubi's actually. I want to say 2 months ago, I had a conversation when the strike was going on. Tubi, that was time to get your money up. But now, since the strike is over, everything is going back to other streaming. But we can put it on Tubi. We just gotta have
Let's
the
put
right
it on
writer.
Netflix or Peacock or something.
Well, after she get this Grammy, of course, we're gonna have a Netflix documentary on her.
Man, and why can't we do a, how the comedians do the 1 hour stand up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tape my own 1 hour stand up and send it to Netflix and see if they'll pick up let me host the poetry series something on Netflix. What y'all think about that?
I
That'd be
think
great.
they'll let you do it. I truly think they'll do it. I mean, if you had doing a movie, they'll probably have like either one of the Bailey sisters playing you, Chloe or Haley, one of them two
Ooh,
possibly.
what's the sexy one?
What's the
Chlo-
I think that's the mermaid. That's Chloe, I think.
Chloe.
Ain't it? I think she's the
I think
mermaid.
Haley.
Help me out, y'all. Which one is
I
it?
think Haley plays the
Who's the
mermaid.
mermaid? Who was the
She's the
mermaid?
more innocent one. Chloe is the super sexy one that was like, yeah, the whatever one, the super sexy one that just popped out and was like, boom. That's who needs to play the young me. Yeah.
Oh man. So you put these books out.
Beyonce can play my mom.
Oh wow, this is going to be a
Actually,
major
she's younger than me, so I don't know if that would work, but that would be fun.
this is going to be a major production if you want Queen Bee to be in it.
Hello.
This is
Come on, Netflix, bring the coins.
hey, I mean she's about to probably do a residency in Las Vegas at the Sphere for 10 million. So hey, she's coming.
Oh, come on, B. Let me open up with a poem for you. Come on.
Yeah, definitely, you definitely do that.
I'll take a
So
cool like 10 grand a night, Beyonce. Just, couple poems. Let me do 10 grand a night. I'll stay out there with you for about 6 months.
hey, I'm not sure what hotel is staying at, but I'm probably her and Jay probably got a house out there somewhere.
Hello. They
Some
probably own one of the hotels.
possibly, possibly. So you put these books out and you created this poetry versus hip hop founder.
Yes.
How
Mhm.
did you create that?
So how that started was if you've ever been to Atlanta, We used to have a very famous poetry cafe called the Apache Cafe, which is very much like the New Eurekan in New York City, or the
Mm-hmm.
Poetry Lounge in LA, or Green Mill in Chicago. And um, I was working there not only as a host on Fourth Sundays for 16 years, but also for on and off for about 4 years as the booking agent. The first 3 were consistent. And so my job was to keep the calendar full 60 days out, but it had to be full for 30 days,
Right.
Monday through Sunday. We had a lot of repeat shows. So like every Monday was Art Monday, every Tuesday was
Mm-hmm.
open mic. So that was kind of cool. So really Thursday through Saturday I had to curate. So one day, a promoter canceled, like somebody that wanted to book the cafe, they canceled.
Okay.
And so I was working there with a young hip hop artist, a Filipino brother. And I was like, we need something to fill the calendar. He was the graphic person. I was the booking agent. I was like, yo, we need something to fill the calendar. And we were like, okay, what can we do? And I was like, my homeboy Moses West now Moses West, for those of y'all who don't know, is a amazing poet out of Jacksonville, Florida. He's still a poet, still does his thing. He has an amazing production called Sex on Stage.
Okay.
And he had done a show called Poetry versus Hip Hop. So I called him. I was like, yo, do you mind? And it was a one-off. It wasn't a series. And I called him and I said, yo, do you mind if I use Poetry versus Hip Hop as, this show? We got to fill the calendar. Like, yeah, sure. I don't care. Have it. And so we did it, line down the block. And all it was an open mic, but we called it Poetry versus
Right.
Hip Hop. We called it one poet. We called it one MC. We had the audience like clap, and that was it. Really, it was just amazing. And this was a Tuesday night. And so
Right.
that went so well that I decided to make it into a business. I called Moses back and I was like, yo, I want to make this into a business and make it blah, blah, blah. And he was like, have it. I don't care. So when we went on the road, Jacksonville, because Moses was so generous, was the first place that we stopped. So that's how Poetry versus Hip Hop got started. And it's morphed and changed into what it is today. It is a whole game show today. So right now we are on a city winery tour. So we will be in DC and Baltimore at
When?
City Winery. Philly, we will be in DC, Baltimore, Philly,
When?
Boston,
When?
New
When
York.
will you be in my area?
Or you're like, get to it. When you gonna? So we will be. We're doing May and June. So I think there's 8 city wineries. So we're gonna do 4 in May, 4 in June, or it'll be like 2 in May, 2 in June, 2 in July, 2 in August, something like that. We're working out the tour right now, but it'll only be in the summer and only in the winter. So we're
Okay.
gonna do some of the ones in the summertime, and then we're gonna do a couple in November and December at the end of the year, or repeat. So, and the New York one is huge. It has like 500 seats. And our home residency is at the Atlanta City Winery. We've grown so much there that now we have to book 2 shows, 6:30 and 9:30. And ironically, people really sell out the 6:30 one first. I would think people want to come to the 9:30 one. They're like, nah, we're trying to go to bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really dope. It's a fun, high energy show. It's interactive. You get a whole concert in the beginning. The first 45 minutes is a live band and a comedian. And then the second hour and a half is the battle between poets and MCs. And one team goes home with $1,000+ You have to see the show to know what I'm talking about. And then the team that loses goes home with $500, and that's
Okay.
it.
So I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to know when,
No,
you
no,
be
you're
in this
good. You're
area
good. That's perfect.
because
So yeah, so follow us on IG and TikTok. Our TikTok is super new, but no disclaimers. Follow us on follow me on, that's all my social media for sure. I always post about it, but also Poetry versus Hip Hop has its own, it's just how it sounds. Poetry VS Hip Hop on IG and TikTok. It's also our website, poetryversushiphop.live, and it does need to be updated, but we do all the updates on Poetry versus Hip Hop IG. So every time we're doing a show. So right now, if you happen to be in Atlanta, the Valentine's Day weekend, or want to come down to Atlanta Valentine's Day weekend, if you are a hip hop artist, we're looking for hip hop artists. I'm looking for hip hop captains. I'm looking for poetry and hip hop captains when I come to DC, Baltimore, Philly, Boston, New York. And we're looking for bands to headline and comedians with resumes. And yes, all positions are paid.
Okay, well, let me dust off my old rhyme book.
Yo,
Let's
yo, son.
yeah, I mean, I still think I got a little Curtis Blow left in me from back in the 80s.
Come on
Still
there.
rapping. Nah, I'll actually pass. Well, actually, when this go on the actual streaming platform of all podcasts, I have a go-go band. They'll pick it up. Well, I'm not a go-go. I know a dude that runs one. He'll probably pick it up and say, "Yo, introduce me to us so they can come down and do what they need to do in Atlanta."
We'd love to. We'd love to have people. February 11th. That's right.
Oh, hey, Lady V, welcome.
Lady V is my PR person. She's doing such a great job.
Yes, yes, yes. That's who I've spoke to. So I mean, I know you said things was hectic yesterday, and that was cool. So we say, hey, gotta get on. You never know when the next Grammy nominated person you're gonna have on here. So hey, so hopefully, everything works out for you. But how much time we got? A couple minutes left. All right, so this is the part of the show. I'm gonna let you, where's the album? The album that you're nominated for is called A You're Not Wrong, B They're Not Either. So you gotta give us something off of there before we get off the air.
Okay. So,
Unless you just want to freestyle. Or unless you want to freestyle. It's up to you.
son, Dunny, son. um, I'll do like some. I'm gonna run some snippets together. How about that? So yes, the name of the album is called A You're Not Wrong, and what I mean by that is you're not wrong for how you feel. You're not wrong for how you want to maneuver through life. You're not wrong for what you want to look like or how you want to dress or behave. You're not wrong for your goals and dreams, the things that you want to pursue. B, they're not either. So just because your way is good for you doesn't mean your way is good for someone else, and doesn't mean someone else's way is good for you. So if you don't want people to judge you, then you don't judge them. So A, you're not wrong. B, they're not either. The Fuck It Pill Revisited. I do have one track on there that is produced by Grammy Award winning R&B mastermind Robert Glasper, and also actor, producer, music producer, mastermind Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yes, the Malcolm Jamal Warner that you all know.
Oh, you got
And
Theo. You got Theo on the
from
album.
I don't say that he falls out, but he doesn't mind because he's grateful that people know him from that, right? But he's done
Right.
so much. I realized he was on Suits. I didn't realize he was on Suits. I was like, oh my God, he was a therapist on Suits when what's his name went to jail for like half a season or whatever.
Well,
I was like, oh my God, you're on Suits. We're actually friends, so I text and call him. I'm like, oh my God. So every time I'm watching something and he pops up, what else was he on that he popped up? Wasn't he on American Horror Story? Yes, he was on American Horror Story. He was on American Horror Story with Angela Bassett, right? Yes.
Season three. The
Yeah,
greatest
he was
season
on.
ever. The greatest season
oh
ever.
my God, that's my friend. So yeah, he's so inspiring, so humble. Robert Glasper is so humble. So just they're really super inspiring to me. So shout out to all the nominees in the poetry spoken word category, which are Kevin Powell, Sean Williams, and Prentice Powell, and Aja Monet, and of course Jay Ivy, who is killing the game right now. So good luck to everybody. And I'm so excited to see everybody out in LA. It's going to be really, yeah, Robert Glasper is definitely a beast. All right, so let's see. I'm going to give you some snippets of stuff.
Okay, that'll work.
All right. No need to call the Border Patrol. We haven't fallen asleep on the road. We take an eraser to the map, push the barriers back. This started in kindergarten when we learned to color outside the square, when we learned that truth was really the first dare. We waited till everyone was there, then we lit the fuse in boarding school. Escaping authorities is expected, snatched the chain, hocked the necklace. Now we frequent fly time zones and eat crescents for breakfast. Attack from all sides when they least expected, building tunnels till dawn across the neck when they're stretching. We'll learn to escape when our wrists turn green. Jacob made the handcuffs disguised as bling, brought it back back from the pawn shop, dyed it pink and sold it back again. We have infinite possibilities, infinite responsibility. Raised up in arms, let them fall with no sympathy. Look them in the eye and dare them to start flinching. This is our world, but we've been too passive to take it back. We don't need to let no addiction strip us to know it's time to get back to black. We tried love. It's not working. We tried peace. They tried murder. We took the high road. They blew the bridge. This is only the beginning of the security breach. When the spook that sat by the door starts to speak, hit enter, download the virus, let it start to leak. Let me get a Diet Coke with my new world order. Pick a signs won't work. No speech about dreams. Time to unravel their plans and take a razor to the seams, because I believe. And I believe poems are supposed to fun mirror your shit. You're right. You could be wearing long sleeves to cover up the cigarette burns shea butter couldn't fade. The very thought of walking to the Chevron for cool 100s in a box through the swats at midnight might make an involuntary tear dive out of the corner of your eye. Hey, do you think Rakia Boyd ate that day? Now Rakia is recycled earth. She don't get to jump into her homie's mama's car. Ain't no more hooky. You should still get to scuttle out of the room because someone might take the safety off. Pepper spray your retinas, might say the word that makes you throw dishes against the wall, a can of Similac at the cabinets, an iron still plugged in against a hairy chest. I ain't loading blanks. All my poems are supposed to be the first night alone in a new house, a hoodie and a dark hallway, a broken parking lot light at Walmart during Christmas, a tall man in the corner, heartburn in the shoulders, a glimpse of a gun in a waistband, at a movie theater, in a crowded club, at a concert. Where were the warning signs for Kendra James, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner? What about Mr. Grant? Executed, cold blood. How's your balance as you step over a warm body? Tell them to bring the rope from the Texas jail cell, the gun from the corner store, the sniper from the playground at the new black charter school. Tell them to bring their knives. Tell them to come fully loaded, because we, the poets, are the motherfucking cannon. Cannon. I always wanted like DJ Cannon to be like, Cannon.
And that's what went on my head. I'm like, okay, don't tell me she got Cannon who did something for.
That would be nice. That would be great. Oh,
Um,
thank you, Clarissa. Pew, 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 pew.
they said I'm looking at the comment. They said they snapping fingers and all right now. So
Thank you. Thank you,
they got
DJ. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's you.
Me.
Okay,
That's
well, hey,
me. I
we
just
gonna pretend
commented
like it
it.
was somebody else. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So where can they find this album at?
So the album is everywhere. You
Okay.
you can find it everywhere. It's on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can stream. It's on Amazon Music. It's on YouTube. It's on Amazon Prime. You can, anywhere that there is music, you can find the album. It's called A, You're Not Wrong, B, They're Not Either. But because there's so much buzz around all the albums right now, because it's a Grammy voting season, then you can just put in A, You're Not Wrong, Queen Sheba, and it'll pop right up. Please use it for your Instagram videos. Please use it for your TikTok videos. You can put my name in, put A, You're Not Wrong, put in Queen Sheba Poet. I will come up for your TikTok videos, for your Instagram videos. Please use, my music all over the place. Make videos and, tag me, and I'll definitely repost you.
Yeah. Because I definitely used one of your videos for the actual promo for today. So that was used. I was tagged on I think I tagged you on Instagram.
Okay. All right,
With
cool.
it. So, this is my part of the show right here. This is called I Be Damned. This is where crazy shit happened on dates. And you have to, and as the guests, you guys get to respond on what you would do in this situation. So,
Oh Lord.
what happens is, in my public life, I ran a non-profit for at-risk teen girls. In my private life, I did everything to make my neighbor Kenny mine. He's married to a petty, vengeful wildebeest. I booked a hotel for me and Kenny. We did the thing. It was good with a T at the end. I ordered pizza. About 30 minutes later, I opened the door looking for pizza, but it was his wife and her friend. She tracked him. Wife talked shit while her friend stuck a phone in my face recording everything. Kenny ran and left me there with them. Wife, look at this nasty bitch out here spending money on married niggas. Is this what we're teaching young girls? The friend posted the video and I lost my sponsors. My teens have the video and most of them bailed on me. I've contacted his wife to apologize, but she won't accept it. But she forgave Kenny and he's still by her side. That's why I created a nonprofit in the first place, because women always choose their men and don't know how to be sisters. How do I get my life back? I've lost everything. Help.
So many flags on the play. So many like. So people, we have to think about the future, not just right now. And when I'm talking to her. So
Right.
when she called the wife petty and vengeful and vindictive, are you not petty, sister, by going out with this married man? And yes, he has his own responsibility, but you knew he was married in the first place. How did you expect him to stay or choose you when you created yourself as the side chick?
Right.
So you didn't lose everything, you gave it away.
Which is true.
Yeah, you gave away. You gave away your dignity, your integrity. You gave away your your honor. Your what am I trying to say? Your whole mission state. That's what I'm trying to say. Your whole mission for the nonprofit.
Right.
So yeah, nah. I mean, what you could do to get your life back is to um be the things that you're looking for. Joan June Jordan,
Right.
be the change that you're looking for. June
Well,
Jordan.
she
So
done lost everything.
if you're looking to be somebody's partner, be partner worthy.
There you have it. But she been plotting the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going
Leaving
to
it
be plotting,
alone.
somebody's going to be plotting on you, and
Yeah.
then you would never be able to trust yourself. I mean, you're always going to be looking over your shoulder to see if he's going to be cheating on you. Erica Badu told us this years ago. I don't want your man. I don't want your man because he's going to do the same thing to me he's doing to you.
Which is true.
Look, I get it. I live in a city where I live in Atlanta, where
Hmm.
the ratio of cisgendered men and cisgendered women is 20-1, heterosexual.
Hmm.
Heterosexual cisgendered men and women is 20-1. I
Right.
totally understand it. Now, the difference is if you and what was his name? Kenny?
Yeah, Kenny.
If you and Kenny and the wife would have had a conversation and said, "Hey, let's all work this polygamy thing out." That's a whole nother thing. That's where you all sit down and agree and talk about it, and everybody's mature and you work together.
Right.
Um, but just going after somebody's man because you don't like the way, and he could be lying to you.
Could be.
Of course, he's like, oh, she hates my guts and she does this. He's not gonna come to you and be like, oh, I'm so happy. This is amazing. I love my wife completely. I mean, of course, he's gonna give you the violin strings. So, in that situation, sis, to get your life back, then be the example.
Could be. But also, we should have learned in 1992, I believe, in Decent Proposal, starring Robert Redford, Demi Moore, and Woody Harrelson. Some money talks. Because he paid her a million. He paid Woody $1 million for
A
one night with
million,
Demi. Yeah,
a
I don't
million.
even think you have to go that high for me. 50,000 would be cool. Like, go
50,000,
ahead,
it's
man. Go
good. You
ahead.
know what I mean?
I'm broke. Give me
Hey,
50,000. You're all right.
you know what I'm saying? 50,000 euros.
50,000,
50,000.
and you can do
Yeah.
what you want to do. But definitely thank you for coming on. Spending some time with me and spending some time with the HBCU family. And
Shout out to Clark Atlanta. Appreciate you.
Grammy nominated. So we definitely will give a tune in to your album on all streaming services. And if you miss the actual live, this will be actually on all platforms next week
Oh, awesome.
as well. So I'll send it. I'll send the lady V in the email. You CC'd in the email. I could send it when it comes out.
Yes,
Um,
thank you.
we can go from there. And right here, actually, I'm going to drop the poetry part in the Clark Atlanta group once we get off. So it's like when you spoke, so I'm like, listen, go support your teacher. Go harass her
Yes.
on campus. She said she needs some more pay.
Hello. Hello. I was awarded Professor of the Month for October this year. So and then the Grammy nomination literally happened 2 weeks later. So it's been I'm on the way up. And I
So
know there's,
they know you. They know you out
diversity
there. Then
every single day, but let's go, Lord. I'm ready.
hey, they know you out there. So and Clark down in the A, they know you. So if I don't have to speak, I just say, hey, I had Queen Sheba. Oh, there we go.
Y'all want to meet my puppy? Come on up here. Come on, up. This is my puppy, Charlie. Say
There ain't
hi.
no, there ain't no damn puppy. That's a grown man.
She is a girl.
Well, that's a grown woman. That's a big dog.
She is only 21 months. She's a sweet girl.
Oh, yeah. People that know me know that's like my phobia. Big dogs. I was
Oh
attacked
man,
as a kid by a
I
pit
feel
bull.
like small dogs are a waste of life. Like, what are we doing with this purse accessory? What are you doing? Why are
Hey,
you why are you
I
carrying this dog around?
I have one. She's upstairs. The
So
supervisor. If I call and say I got some food, she'd come down here, but I don't have any food right now.
I'm
But
a
yeah,
dog lover. Thank you so much for having me.
always, definitely. Hey, listeners, people that's viewing, there's no show next week. Merry Christmas. There's no show actually for 2 weeks because of the holidays, so we're gonna take off. But on January 10th, I want you to bring your children to this show because I have content creator Uncle Demi and some developers for the game of NBA 2K24 coming.
Ooh.
So bring your kids on so they can get their cheat codes and all that stuff on how to create the My Player, how to hit shots in this video game. They're definitely coming on and they're going to drop some jewels and gems on how they create the game and also how you can be good at the game January 10th. So definitely same time, 7 p.m. Definitely. And we definitely going to check on Queen Sheba when she gets to the Grammys because we don't want Queen Sheba up in them puffy parties.
Listen, y'all. Follow me on IG. I'm gonna be going live. I'm gonna be posting to my story every day. And I think I have a highlight reel that I've said, like on Instagram. So I've been putting all the Grammy stuff into the highlight reel. Please follow me on TikTok. I've been doing, different videos on each one. Follow me on Twitter. All my social media is the Queen Sheba. So I'm posting on TikTok, IG, and Twitter every single day. And of course, please follow Poetry versus Hip Hop. And we're looking for poets and MCs. We're looking for four poets and four MCs when we come to DC and Baltimore, Philly, and New York and Boston. So if you want to come on the road or if you want to be in one of those cities, we would love to have you. And you
I'll
only
keep
need one poem. You only need one song. It's only one. You only need one thing. One.
Well,
One banger.
I'll keep in touch. So when you come to this area, I like to go meet all my guests. I had a guest on Terry Tucker probably about a month ago. He was out Denver, and I went to Denver, but he wound up having to go to his radiation for cancer, so we didn't get to link up. So if you're in town, I'll hang out, meet you, take pictures, and go
I would
from there
love
with
that.
it. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
definitely come out in May.
I'll
You've
give
been on
you.
Charles Street, so hey, so you know.
I'm gonna give you some tickets. I'm gonna give you some tickets. I give you 10 tickets. Give them away. Bring your family. Whatever you want to do.
I bring the whole
Bring the
Amsterdam
whole
Talk
crew.
staff with me.
Yes, that would be great.
They'll all love to come. So remember, people, no show next week, no show the following week. Happy, what is it?
Happy,
Merry Christmas. I forgot what Eddie Murphy said. Merry New Year.
happy Christmas, Merry New Year,
Yeah,
peace. Wish me luck, y'all. Thank y'all so much for your support, and I look forward to seeing y'all on my IG.
we look forward to seeing you. So remember, see you in 2 weeks. Thank you for coming again. Thank you. It's my house, but you all